What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here at GSD Mode Studios, and today I'm here with another weekly Leveling Up video episode, and today I'm here to talk to you about how to stop utilizing or using discipline as an excuse. This is one of the most common things that I hear from entrepreneurs or really just anybody out there that's trying to create any type of success, or they're given an excuse or a reason of why they can't create success in their life. This is the most common thing that I hear. Right? As an example, we do get hundreds of surveys that we intake on a monthly basis. Whether it's somebody looking to jump into my mentorship program, we always pre-survey them. And most of the times, whether it's from there or just a conversation that I'm having with somebody or a question that's posted in our GSD Mode Facebook group or whatever, the most common obstacle, because that's a question I'm always asking, what is your biggest current obstacle that is prohibiting you from accomplishing your goals, right? I mean, for me as a mentor and a coach, that is the most important question I need to identify, because whether it's true or not, I need to identify what they think is true, right? So that's the most important question for me to be able to identify, so I can know if I can help them and help them at the biggest level. But for you and for us personally, when we're looking at achieving success, that's the most important question that we can always be asking ourselves as well, right? Because again, then that becomes my focus and my obsession of solving that obstacle, which is why I wanted to create this video for you guys today on this, to get you guys dialed in with this, because it's utter bullshit, right? An excuse, a reason, these are just lies that we're telling ourselves of why we're not creating the success that we want to go out there and create. So we just got to quit using them, right? So then from there, like what does this mean? Because this is something that so many people use. You've heard me talk about this before on Leveling Ups, if you watch these before, about why willpower and discipline is really just a cop-out, and how the most successful people out there, the super achievers of the world, do not rely on discipline or willpower, because we all have a limited amounts of it, right? But today I'm taking a little bit of a different angle at this than I have in those previous videos discussing this, right? But number one, just understand that it's something that I get all the time, where it's just like, oh man, how do you have so much discipline? How do you get up at early in the morning like you do each and every morning? How do you like my new schedule right now, and I've been following this for about 8 weeks, is I'm now up earlier. I was trying to adjust my schedule where I'd be sleeping in a little bit more. I was trying to get on a schedule where I'd be in bed at 8 p.m. and get up at 4 a.m. to get that 8 hours of sleep. But I naturally started waking up every single morning at 2:26. Right? So then now I'm up every single morning, have been for the last 6 weeks at 2:30 a.m., right? And go to bed at 7:30 o'clock at night, which I know is early, to go to bed, but I'm getting up early, and that's just the routine that works great for me. But people are like, man, I just don't have the discipline to get up at 2:30. How do you do that? How do you get to the gym every day? How do you do all the things that you do in your business? Whatever it may be. And the reality is I don't rely on discipline. I don't believe in discipline. I don't rely on it, right? Because again, it's just a cop or an excuse. When we start there and think that, I just don't have the discipline or the willpower, right? Well, everybody has limited amounts. So we've got to rely on systems. And this is what the top elite super achievers do, right? They never rely on discipline, man. They follow a system. They follow a plan that allows them to be successful with it, right? So if you look at the word discipline, what is that, right? Well, it is a disciple, right? Following a plan. Like how much of a disciple to a plan can you be? That's what discipline breaks down to with the core meaning of it. So a disciple is just an extremely loyal, fully committed follower, right? Then a plan is your plan of execution. So when people are saying that I'm not disciplined, like they think like it's some inner motivational, inspirational mindset bullshit, whatever you want to call it, that one day they're just going to wake up and just be more motivated to do shit. No. Right? It doesn't work that way, man. I don't know anybody that relies on motivation to go out there and create success. Again, it's how much of a disciple, so how committed and loyal of a follower are you going to be to a given plan. So the first thing, though, is to get very clear on what you want and why you want it, right? Like my guess is When somebody's like, oh, Josh, I'm just not I don't track my numbers in my business. I'm not disciplined, or I'm not disciplined enough to go to the gym every day, or eat the right way, or drink gallon and a half of water a day, or whatever. It's just like, look, they're the first place to start is they're not committed to that process. Right? When you're committed, you do whatever it takes to execute on that plan, like regardless of your emotional state, right? But they're not committed to it most of the time because they're not sold on why they should be doing it yet, right? Like anything that you want bad enough in life, you will make happen, right? Like you get to a point where like whatever you're built, this is a Tony Robbins thing, right? But I can't remember where he said it or what video he said it in, but I remember him saying this in like some goal setting thing, but he's like, you will always make the amount of money that you must make. So most people get themselves into a certain amount of debt and have their certain amount of expenses that they now must make to go out there and survive, right? And they figure out how to make that much money. We kind of always figure out how to make the must requirements happen, for us. But then above that, because they can't get themselves in more debt, they're strapped. Right? They don't know how to level up that must. They're not able to manifest of how they must have more income when they don't necessarily need that income to afford, the expenses that they have, right? So we always figure out our musts in this life. So you got to get so clear and get so compelled and convicted to the goals that you have, where this is like a non-negotiable thing for you in your life. This must happen. Right? And you look at like kids, right? Like this is an easy thing, I think, for a lot of parents, because it's like, well, I must be a great parent to my kid, right? Well, why not, I must have epic health, right? Like why not carry that over to other things, right? Into your life. So first thing again is to get very clear on what you want and why you want it, and start visualizing your life as if that thing already exists. Like maybe you're like, oh dude, I want to start making $300,000 a year, whatever you want to start making in your business, right? Maybe you're making $100,000 a year in your mind. You're like, oh dude, if I could just make $300,000 a year, that would be amazing, right? Well, get very clear on, like, dude, money is a fucking piece of paper. It's no different than, it's just crumble up newspaper, whatever. It's just a freaking piece of paper. I mean, what is it of value, right? It's not the money. It's just this thing, right? It's the changes that happen in your life and how it enhances your life and your lifestyle. That is what you're really chasing. It's not the $300,000, right? It's the shit that allows you to go out there and do and buys you and whatever. So get very clear on it. Like, what is it that you want? Right? Why is it important to you? And start visualizing your life. Closing your eyes, manifesting, visualizing your life as if you already have that. If it already exists, so you can start to experience that. And if any of you ever read one of the greatest books that's ever existed, in my opinion, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, that was just the playbook of the most elite. Of the elite, and really still the most elite today, even though they're no longer here, right? If you compare Rockefeller and Carnegie's wealth, versus Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, like it doesn't even compare. Like they had so much more wealth than any of the most elite have today, right? Well, that was a book of the playbook of the elite. And he goes so deep into this visualization and manifestation process, right? And you'll never meet an extremely successful entrepreneur, athlete, whatever, that doesn't manifest and visualize at an extremely high level. They're just brilliant and committed to that process. So then, though, when I get that, allows me to not just want something, right? That makes me be convicted to it, right? And there's a big difference between conviction and want, right? Want then is, I need motivation to really go out there and make it happen. Well, when you're truly convicted to something, that's where something pulls you, right? That's when like you're at that, I must make my goals a reality, is when you're being pulled. You're not having to push. It's not forced action, right? It's like you're just being pulled. Like you want to be in the office every day. You want to be in the gym. You want to be doing those right things, right? So then now, once you have that step accomplished, well then now I'm going to go get the plan to make that a reality, right? And you guys, like, it's so fucking easy. The first part that we just talked about is the most difficult part, right? Because 95% of all of success is getting your mind right. Control your mind, control the world, or at least your world, right? Because then from there, once I'm clear on exactly what I want, and then I know exactly where I'm at, dealing reality with where I'm at, finding that plan is easy, right? Like there's no type of success that you and I want to go out there and create that somebody hasn't already created. So we're not trying to be Elon Musk here and solve interplanetary space travel and fucking invent shit that's never been invented before, right? Like at least for most of us. Maybe you're watching this, that's you, but for me, that's I'm way too unintelligent to even fathom how any of that shit even works, right? So like the success that I'm trying to create in my life, dude, or that there's a must for me to create hundreds of thousands, if not that. I mean, a lot of motherfuckers have created that success, right? So I just find, okay, who's done it, right? Then let me go identify that plan, right? So I'm just always finding that plan. Like, with my health. I mean, I just went through this. You guys have probably heard me talk about this in previous episodes recently, but last year I neglected my health, man. I wasn't disciplined to my health plan, right? Meaning I wasn't a disciple to my plan and I got out of shape. Right? It wasn't what, it just was what it was, right? Well, boom, now I readjusted my goals, readjusted my plan, readjusted the importance to it, got a new plan, a better plan in place, and I'm executing on that like a motherfucker and getting back to not just where I was, but far beyond where I was, right? Whether it's your real estate business, whatever it may be, find the plan, right? But you got to make sure, just like you've invested the time on getting clear on what you want, why you want it, all those things that we just manifesting, visualizing, all those things that we just talked about, you got to invest that same amount of time in identifying the right plan, right? It's like, all right, if I'm going to go out there and let's just say I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm going to go climb this huge mountain out here because I want to get to the top and see that view. Well, maybe I discovered that mountain is going to take me 3 years of my life to climb that mountain. I better make fucking sure that view at the top is the view I want to see, right? Like, maybe I should slow down and be like, okay, well, is it this mountain? Is it this mountain? Is it this mountain? Right? Before I go spend the 3 years climbing the motherfucking mountain, right? So invest the time in identifying the best plan for you to execute on, right? But then now, right? So we're breaking this down. You're sold and you're convicted, you're manifesting, you know what you want, why it's important, you're there, right? Now you've identified the plan. Now the third step, right, is being a disciple to the plan to get what you want. Disciple is just a truly committed follower, which means you're going to follow the fucking plan to a T, day in and day out, do what they say, right? If they say jump, you say how high. I shouldn't say they, whatever. It could be a book. It could be a course. It could be, right, a mentor, coach. It could be anything, right? But you now have, because you know what you want and why you want it. You've taken the time to vet the plan, right? So I don't need to question the plan now, right? It's the right plan to get me to where I want. Now I don't care if it's blind faith. I don't care if I don't even understand it. I'm just going to follow the fucking plan, right? Like to go out there and create big success is so friggin' easy. Right, but most people don't break this stuff down and aren't methodical about this stuff, right? And then you might exhaust a lot of time, energy, and money just in, going down the wrong plans. Like, oh, that didn't work for me. This doesn't work for me, right? I mean, so many people are just way too damn quick to say no to something without even putting the right intentional discovery into it and doing the due diligence on it, right? But if you spend the time, the cool thing is like, the first 2 steps can take you, like if you took an hour or 2 hours, like you can have those dialed in 2 hours, right? The first 2 steps, right? Then every single day, it might take you 3 years. Doesn't matter how, like people get so just fucked up when it comes to time. Everybody wants, we're in the instant gratification society, we want 6-minute abs, like that shit just doesn't exist. Show me one person that's created immediate success. I have people that are like, oh, well, Josh, dude, like you had so much success out of the gate in your real estate business. How did you do it, man? Right? Well, what they don't understand is I started working in sales at 14 years old, right? Before that, I started working for my dad when I was 11, who my dad was in the health, owned and managed health clubs for 30 years. So I started working for him at 11. I was just cleaning equipment, washing towels, whatever. But guess what? I was around talented, great salespeople, right? And around my dad, who is extremely great when it came to, the health club industry, and now is also a great real estate agent. But I was shadowing all that stuff. Then I got involved in sales at 14. So yeah, I got into the real estate industry at 23 years old, but I had all that experience leading up to it, like all the people-to-people experience, the sales pitch experience, the follow-up experience, all that experience that led up to it. So yeah, I just eventually then discovered the right industry where I could truly shine in. But it was all that, almost decade of experience before that, decade plus of experience before that, that allowed me to kick ass in my first year of real estate. So everybody's like, oh, bam, you just crushed it out of the gate. No. Put in the work before that, right? So there is no such thing as instant success, man. This shit takes time. You got to play the long game. I'm never just so hyper focused on, oh man, I got to grow my business 50% year over year, whatever. Man, as long as I'm growing each and every year, like I don't worry about how quickly the growth is going to happen, right? I'm just committed. I'm focused on following the plan. And trying to grow every day, right? Like whatever that percentage of growth may be, some years it may be big, some years it may not be big, right? But as long as I'm growing, I'm sticking to that plan, because it's like, look, in I'm in the real estate industry, which I know most of you that are watching this are. It's not like we're fucking pouring concrete and that our bodies are going to give out on us at some time, right? From selling real estate, like, shit, you can do this if you take care of yourself, right? You can do this till you're 80, 90 years old if you want to. Like, I got a lot of years, man. I'm 38 right now. I've been in this for 15 years. I plan on being in this industry for, hopefully another 50 years, right? Or 40, 50 years, right? I got a long time to go out there and build this stuff. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not being intentional with each and every day and try to expand it and be like, oh, I got plenty of time, I don't need to do the work. No, right? I'm patient when it comes to the long game and my overall success. I'm very impatient on how much I can squeeze in each and every day, right? So when I have this plan, commit to the plan. It may take you a year before you start seeing results. It may take you 2 years, 3 years. Doesn't matter. Just stick to the plan. If it's the right plan that's getting you to the right goal, and you're committed to following that plan, you are going to succeed. You will absolutely crush it. It may not happen in the time frame that you want. Grant Cardone talks about this in his 10X book. When I had him on the podcast, I asked him, about 10X, right? And he's mentioned that was his least favorite book that he's ever written. And he's like, really is just because it's so interpreted by, people out there. Of what all that means. But anyway, he breaks down, and the reason that the 10X thing started, which was really just the mindset that people need to have, which is kind of where we're going here with playing that long game. He's like, look, dude, every business that I've ever created and success I've created took 10 times longer than I had planned for, took 10 times more action and effort, 10 times more money, right, than he initially thought. And that's just how the game works. Right, but you just got to stay committed to the plan, stay committed, never giving up, be a disciple to the plan, right? So I'm going to cut it there because I could keep mumbling on this stuff forever with you guys. But anyway, I hope that this helps. So that's really your 3-step process to follow, a process to create discipline, right? Because discipline is nothing more than just being, again, a disciple to the plan. How committed and loyal are you to this plan? But for you to be committed and loyal to the plan, you got to make sure it's the right plan that's getting you to exactly where you want to go. So if you don't know where you want to go, you don't know why you want it, why it's important to you, all of those things, right? Well then, dude, like you could either fall into the wrong plan, which sucks, right? Or you're not going to be sold on committing to that plan and being a disciple to that plan, being disciplined, right? That is really the true key to it. So anyway, hope you guys found this helpful. Make sure to check us out at gsdmode.com, where you can see more episodes just like this, plus a ton of other GSD Mode content, spit out daily content to help you guys grow your life, grow your business, a lot of other tools, cool shit like that to help you guys grow, all free on there. Anyway, truly appreciate your support. You guys keep kicking ass. I'll see you next time. Peace.